Barak Shalom, everyone. It's Out the Box Kingdom. Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom. I hope you all are having a wonderful yum. I just wanted to come on here right quick because I want to talk to my people about some things. You know, I was on YouTube earlier, and you know how a lot of other Christian channels like to expose one another, especially when it comes to these pastors and things like that. And I got to thinking about a lot of how these false prophets and apostles are prophesying one another and saying the LORD told me to tell you this, that you're doing an amazing job. They are doing an amazing job for Baal, you know what I'm saying? And they know what they're doing. But anyway, as I was sitting up there watching them, I could hear the Ruach Kadesh was saying, a lot of the ones that I was seeing that was being exposed, he said they far gone. Like they love their wealth more to the point that there's no turning back for them. They're not going to turn back, right? Because the platform and stuff like that. But this is not what I'm talking about today. It wasn't too long after that I saw the videos of the outbreaks, the HIV outbreaks that's been taking place down there in Texas, and how the numbers are, you know, rising up now in regards to the HIV rate. And we know that HIV is a result of being perverse and being careless with your body, and you sleeping not with your partner but with multiple partners. Just because something look good does not mean it's good. But as I was seeing like a picture of a young man that had all the bumps over his face, it made me think of a dream that I had a couple of months ago, and it was me sitting in like a hospital setting, but more so where it wasn't like an emergency room. It was more so I was sitting there talking to a celebrity about his diagnosis, and when the nurses came back for him to call him back to the back, it was a black and a white nurse. They both um, had outbreaks on their face, and I heard the Ruach Hakodesh tell me that it was measles, right? Now, when we think of measles, when we think of, you know, a lot of these so-called outbreaks, um, they look like small little boils on somebody's face, right? And automatically, it was like the Ruach HaKodesh was reminding me today when I saw that he was like the plagues. And I said the plague, and that's when I saw on YouTube where I saw a top of that literally said a plague demic. So it wasn't too long ago the Ruach HaKodesh led me, actually a few months ago after I had that dream, about the pale horse. We know that the pale horse brings death and disease and famine and all these other things, right? And so as I was sitting here, the Ruach HaKodesh was just reminding me to tell his people, like he told us in Exodus. Hold on, I'll let y'all know what I'm talking about. In Exodus 15:26, he says, and he said, if you diligently obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohah, which is what Moshe was telling the people, and do what is right in his eyes, and shall listen to his commands, and shall guard all his laws, I shall bring bring on you none of the diseases I brought on the Mitsrayim, for I am your Yahuwah who heals you, right? That's his word, that's his promise, right? So if you don't remember the very thing that the Most High brought upon the Mitzrites, it was the 10 plagues, which was the now turning the Nile to blood, right? And we know the reason why the Most High did that, because they was throwing the babies into the Nile. And even as I was reading that, I was thinking about all these so-called rivers here in America that they gave Hebrew babies as alligator bait back in the day. Wouldn't it be something that the Most High end up turning those rivers into rivers that look like blood, to expose all the genocides and all the slaves, or should I say the Hebrews, that were killed in these so-called rivers, especially that one over there that was once a Hebrew town and they flooded it? That's just my point of view. Then there was the frogs, right? Infested the land, the entry of homes, the lands, the beds, and everything. See, way back when I was still in Christianity, the Ruach HaKodesh told me, or revealed to me, that the plagues of that happened in Mitsrayim was going to come back. It's going to come back. We already seen the hailstorms and everything, right? We just haven't seen the heavy festation of frogs, but it could be coming, right? Gnats and lice, right? Dust turned to gnats, um, and lice was all over the people and animals. Then there was the flies, right? Um, they was all in their houses and stuff like that, except for the land of Goshen. Remember, Goshen wasn't getting hit by these plagues, right? Then the livestock became diseased, right? A pestilence killed the Mizraim's livestock, including the cattle, horses, donkeys, camels, sheep, right? We know that livestock is what? Wealth, right? Festering bulls broke out on the skin of people and animals, okay? And then lastly, the hail, the locust, darkness, and the death of the firstborn. And we know, of course, that after the death of the firstborn, this is how it results in us having our first Passover, right? So on that note, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we are definitely seeing the plagues of Mitsrayim coming back into the land, especially with America. We're gonna, we already seeing. I believe the scrolls have been opened, far as the horse that brings war. But I definitely believe that the pale horse is also running rampant as well, because the heightening of the measles outbreak, and now all of a sudden all these HIV outbreaks, and it's because the sin of this land, the bloodshed, that's been done in this land. And TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. But the tables are turning, right? Because if we go back, it's not just the curses of um, the plagues of the Mitzrayim that Yah is bringing, but it's the reversal of the Deuteronomy 28 curses too, on the people that is not doing the things of Yah, right? At first it was on the Hebrews, but now it's turning back on these people that's not doing the will of the Most High. And I wouldn't be surprised if it really started afflicting the pastors, the false apostles, and false prophets that calling themselves, because Yah saying He's going to drive them out of the land as well. But He's going to hold them accountable, because He has led His sheep astray. And because I'm running out of time, I'm going to continue this in Deuteronomy 27 so y'all can see what I'm talking about, right? So you can make sure that your household, and at least you got yourself in order, that when these plagues come, that your household is not affected, just like he says, Dawood says in Psalms 91, that sickness and disease may not come near my dwelling place. Okay? So, like I said, I'm going to read Deuteronomy 27, and I'm going to start at verse 15. But I want y'all to go back and read, and go back and reflect on Exodus 15:26, because he's saying, if you turn back to me and you obey everything I tell you, the disease and the plagues that I put on Mizraim will not come back on you. So Yah is very adamant about that. Shalom.